it's hard to avoid all of these images of babies dying and just horrific scenes from Palestine. Coming up to this, I was trying to think, well, I should just have a non-intervention, shouldn't really say what I feel about things, so it's open to everybody. But, I have a certain view, and that's mine, and I'm okay with that. Other people may have the opposite view. That's okay with me. Everybody's allowed to have their own views. But I have to say, I've always kind of been on the side of Valentine's, Palestine. I never liked, it's always seemed a bit bullying and unfair to me, but I know it has a history and I don't know the full history. But I think most people want it to come to an end, so at least there's a ceasefire and this slaughter can somehow finish. And it's when I look at it, I think, well, as a global thing and people needlessly dying, again, this is my view, I think far more people are dying from pollution. I think far more people are dying just from pharmaceutical, medical drugs in general. Far more people are just dying from the food they eat, a lot more slowly, obviously. So kind of putting it in perspective, it doesn't seem so big in that way, but it's so in everybody's face and it seems so pivotal. And certainly my opinions have changed. My opinions about Russia have changed. My opinions about the Arabs have changed. My opinions about America, well, they're not that different actually, but it's brought it into the highlight. And I think it's just whatever side you're on, whatever your views are, I don't want to undermine that. I'm just saying where I come from, and that may be different, and I'm happy for it to be different with other people. I think it's brought the whole global situation into focus. And for me, it actually started with the Johnny Depp trial. I'm not sure if that was after or before COVID, but it started with that, where I was watching the trial. And then I was looking what was written in the mainstream media. And I was thinking, are we watching a different trial? How can they be saying that when this is happening in the trial? And then with COVID, it seemed like everybody was in lockstep and together. Mainstream media, the politicians, the multinational companies, it just seemed orchestrated to me. And I would kind of question my own sanity when I never read them, but I look at them in shops, just the front page. And I kind of doubt my own sanity a bit, but it just became more and more apparent. And I think as time has gone on, more and more people are kind of coming to the conclusion that we are hypnotized or orchestrated, I'm trying to think of the right word, or manipulated by words, by newspapers, by the television, and it's for money. or power. And we seem to be hurtling towards something which for me is more dangerous, where we become a slave race, where laws are put in place that you're not allowed to say what you want to say. And that becomes a dangerous thing. Like in Canada, that is just getting so close. I know there are people from Canada here who feel a similar way, that now the governments, there's no check. They can kind of do what they want and no one calls them on it. You know, the police are run by them, the army is run by them. They seem to be run by the multinational companies. And this face-off in the Middle East doesn't seem to be separate from that. Seems like there's America, the UK, probably Europe, backing Israelis, and that's how it's been for a long, long time. And, you know, providing Israel with a lot of money and weaponry. And the Arab states are kind of backing Palestine, but there's a bit of a difference there in that Palestine hasn't been financed or given weapons or anything like that, but it just seems like there's this big is happening in Russia and Ukraine. It's now happening in Palestine, and it seems very weird, wouldn't it? It's in the newspapers and on YouTube and every single day. This war in Russia, kind of, you don't hear about that. It's as if it's not happening anymore. It's like this agenda is going on. And I don't want to take away from this killing that's happening in Palestine, whatever side you're on, whatever's happening. It just seems like needless killing to me in a horrific way. And I'm just saying what's there for me, that we create a place in ourselves where we're not adversely affected by this whole stream of one situation after another that seems to be leading into this kind of abyss of where we're controlled by what is going on, and that the police and the army are holding it in place. You know, in the British government, they just seem to be letting the WHO, and I think every government are just letting these new regulations from the WHO through, where the WHO can say what people have to do legally in every country, and there's nothing the parliaments can do about it. They want to mandate a vaccine, everyone's got to take a vaccine. If they decide there's a pandemic, there's a pandemic, and everybody has to be locked down. And this is just getting waved through Parliament. The only MP in England that was doing anything about that, Andrew Bridgen, they threw him out. Luckily, someone else let him back in a different party, but they all walk out when he speaks in Parliament. He's not going to get anything through because there's no support from the other people. I do what little I can, and I don't hold back. It's not like, because I don't think I'm going to have that much effect, but I just write to my MP and I just tell him what I think about him. I did tell him I don't think it's working for us. I think it's working for the multinational companies. I think it's a crook. I just tell him all that stuff, and I say, yeah, I'm your boss. I want you to do this. And I know it won't work, but I feel like it's the least I can do. And I feel, you know, many people may not agree with me, and I may lose students from it. You know, I thought, well, I can't say exactly what I feel, because there's going to be people who don't agree with me, and I'm going to lose them as students. But in the end, you know, I think you just got to say what you got to say. And I don't want people to leave because of that. I want everybody to be included, whatever their views are. But I think it takes away from the webinar if I don't say my feelings on it. And then along with that, I feel like there's this massive healing. I mean, massive, on a higher level, and a massive clarity, like it really is bringing something into focus. The whole dialogue around Israel and Palestine over the last few weeks has changed for me. I don't think the Israelis can get away with what they've been doing. It seems much more obvious than it used to be. And the massive demonstrations going on all around the world that aren't being reported in mainstream media, people know about them anyway. They're being shown, people can see them. So whatever, you know, you got these massive demonstrations to have a ceasefire in Palestine in the UK. And the only headlines you see about that in the UK are thugs. These thugs protesting on Amnesty Day, or whatever it's called, Poppy Day. But people see it in videos, people talk about it. So the narrative is coming to light. These excess deaths, they're like 15–20%, and they won't speak about it in Parliament anywhere in the whole world. Just the few people who courageously stand up in face of losing their job, or with Andrew Bridgham being thrown out, or whatever, but basically, and doctors losing their license, and stand up and say, this is what's happening, and they're belittled, they're run down, you know. I think it takes everybody. Other people may not agree with me, then you don't have to do it. You can do the opposite. But whatever, people have to tell their truth in these days, despite what is going to happen to them. Because for me, it is a war. You can't wait. You can't wait until all of the laws are made that you no longer have any freedom. You are locked in your home. You do have to take drugs when you're told to take drugs. You know, that is what is at the end of this. They do have access to your bank account, so they can take the funds out if you don't do what they say, and be paid if you do what they say. Now, we may not know what's going to happen, but you only have to look at the writing on the wall. So this meditation is to do with that, and this massive energy that is bringing it to light. Before, 3 years ago, you'd have to be a total conspiracy theory to say anything like that. But now, just a huge amount of people agree with it. Yeah, that's obviously what's going on. And it's so easy to brainwash people if you are just reading or watching the mainstream media and nothing else. you are kind of programmed to believe that view. If you're only watching certain YouTube channels, you're being programmed that view. So you have to be intelligent and follow your own inner light as to what is going on. And it may look terrible going into it, but I kind of see a light at the end. It is bringing stuff into the light to be seen. And in that respect, more and more people are waking up to that light. And if enough people wake up to it, then it becomes the politicians, even if they are being paid off or corrupted or having all, I've forgotten what it's called when the multinational companies interfere. I know in America it's paid off, but where they just send thousands of letters or something so that politicians will do what they say. If enough people wake up, they lose their jobs because people won't vote for them anymore. I'm sure Andrew Bridgen is going to get like 80% of the votes in that constituency now. And other politicians might look at that and say, well, actually, we'll do much better telling the truth. I know that's a bit weird for a politician's mind to get his head around, to actually be honest and tell the truth about what's happening. But that may be the scenario if enough people get up and talk, because the power of the masses is bigger than anything anybody else can do about it, you know. So there is that, and there's this moving into a new age. I know that word has been slung around for a long, long time, but it seems like either moving into the new age in an enlightened way at the minute, or moving into a doomsday kind of whimpering and being controlled by these different facets. And an interesting thing, I obviously have a lot to say about this. We're just going to skip through it. But sometimes, it, you know, when it comes out of my mouth, it just starts, and I can't stop, because that is the energy that's coming through. So I have to say it, otherwise it is just a pressure. So, you know, there is all of that and that awakening. And that is another thing. It seems like we are going over global ecological tipping points. Not just people are dying, animals are dying, insects. It seems like if it's anything else other than a human, doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter if it's a tree, doesn't matter if it's an animal, and all of these things. And you know, it seems like we're going over tipping points. You can see it in the weather. It's changing so quickly. And this year, it's gone up exponentially, really. And this is going to be the first year we've gone over this 1.5 degrees. That is going more. So there's a lot going on, and I don't know how we're going to do anything about that. I'm kind of leaving it up to the gods, to the energies that be, the energies that are bringing us into the new age. Because I don't know. But they seem to know a lot more than I do, and presumably aren't constricted by time, so they can see it forwards and backwards in time. But that it has some kind of help towards that, or brings us in line with that. So one, we can be more comfortable in our skins. Two, we don't feel defenseless and that we can't do it, there's nothing we can do about it. You know, I'm in no doubt that healing, meditation, prayer, they bring about massive changes. Without it happening on a spiritual level, doesn't happen on any level. You know, you can see that in the body. You can heal things in the body. But unless it also makes that connection to the higher self or the subtle realms, it still just keeps going round at a certain level. So we can grapple with all of these things, and it seems like it's out of our hands. But it's a bit like if you heal it within yourself, if enough people come to a wise understanding of it in themselves, then it starts reflecting around, and then people can't play the same games. I don't think rich people, multinational companies, people in power have the control that we think they have. I think a mass of people coming to enlightenment in themselves just changes the frequency that everything is happening within. So, you know, we'll be opening that up, that our frequency can rise, or we can lot to do with understanding within ourselves, and the divisions within ourselves, the way we are playing those same games within ourselves and people around us. And interesting to see how all of the Arab nations, one of the reasons nothing happened in favor of Palestine is that all of the Arab nations were wouldn't come together. They were always also kind of fighting each other. And this weekend, they all came together, all of it. I think there was about 30, I didn't know there were so many, but I think there was about 36. I think there was all the different continents in Africa, or countries in Africa, you know, obviously Palestine, not Israel. Israel wasn't there, surprisingly, but all of the different Arab nations came together, and they all basically said the same thing and came for the first time to a united front. And I think between us, whether we're on this, you know, everyone will have different views about what's going on. So I forgot what I was saying, but we can bring ourselves together, even if we have opposing views, as healers, as meditators, as energy workers, as breath workers, as whatever field you're in. We can start coming together, you know, in ways that we weren't before. It's more of a force. And I think as things travel forwards, there has to be a more united, spiritual, growth-orientated delegate there, other than the normal churches, which are there very powerfully and normally part of the government. But I think it needs I forgot what they're called, whatever those religions are called. I think it needs kind of us as just spiritual beings, as some united front, even if it's on some kind of energetic level, that we feel part of something together, and that we can work together to align for a world where that is included, where all life is sacred. The animals, the plants, the people, where the earth is respected. And that will probably mean, it may not mean, but it will probably mean less of us, because we have literally taken over the same that is happening to Palestine, we have done to nature. Just because there's so many of us, our eating habits, our ability to destroy nature so that we have property, nice cars, big homes, big factories, all of these material needs. So we have to look at ourselves in that as well. You know, it might mean there's this terrible uproar that goes up when, as soon as anything alternative means people will have to have a little bit less. People will have to go without a little bit, will be restrained a little bit. I mean, it's pure greed. It is similar to what's happening in Palestine and Israel. We are doing that to the earth. Literally, we're doing that to the earth, the animals, the weather. You know, easily at this stage we can wipe ourselves out far more quickly than these big companies can do with our climate. And there's also, again, many people think, you know, kind of conspiracy type people think, a lot of them think that climate change is just something that's made up by the governments and the multinational companies. They may be right, but as far as I'm concerned, that seems real to me. It does seem real that on all different levels we are destroying the earth, and I can't see why we wouldn't be changing the weather as well. But we seem, from the information that I look at, we're hitting major tipping points, whereas if we don't curtail our actions very quickly, it won't matter what we're doing, because like the methane going off from the wetlands and the permafrost melting, they're taking over, you know, because carbon has brought it up to a certain level and everything's getting hot, and then all these other things start taking off, and after a while it doesn't matter what anyone's doing because it's going to come to an end anyway. So I think we are at a tipping point within ourselves as a group at this time, with these whole different things that I've mentioned, is that we can somehow come together in some kind of spiritual meditation where we can heal those divisions in ourselves, between each other, and between us and the earth, and between us and the higher self. I've always noticed that with holographic breathing, all of the different parts of my body start talking to each other. My body starts talking to the earth, my body starts talking to the higher self. And a lot of the things that need to be healed are that lack of energetic communication. And once those energy systems open, then things naturally get better. We may have invested interests that they don't open. We may really hate somebody or dislike somebody or have an opinion about something, and that is closing down one of those lines of communication. So it's not like we don't have to change who we are to allow that to happen. So what is happening in the world have little doubt that that is happening in ourselves. And we can do something about that. We have total authority over that. And it's a willingness to let go of our control of ourselves, our control of our systems, the mind controlling everything. And in holographic breathing, we always work with that. We always allow the energies to go through the brain, and as they go through the brain, then the mind doesn't have its hold, doesn't have the purchase, doesn't have the reality that it normally has. We become more of a viewer, and we are no longer that. It doesn't mean it's gone, but we are no longer that. We are no longer enamored with that, thinking that that is us. And then once that is happening, then there's a connection to the higher self. And if you work with that enough, you're just not the person you were before. What we've, there's this building, people start off the spiritual journey as a purely selfish thing normally, or that they've so ruined their lives they have to do something about it. And people start feeling better, their bodies start getting better, everything starts work, but they're still in a cage. And it comes to a point where everybody turns around and says, I am the problem. I have to dismantle myself. Everything about me is the problem. All of my different traits, my ego, my identity, my opinions, how I hold things. These are the problem. These are why I have this illness. This is why I go round in these circles. So that changes once it goes. When the energy reaches the brain, that starts changing. When it permanently goes through the brain, from my own experience, this is a truly devastating, terrifying time. But you are never the same after that. You are never the same person. Then when it connects to the higher self, it is the same thing again. Spiritual advancement is not for the weak-hearted. True work is for heroes. It's for warriors. It's for people who are brave. People who are willing to let go of everything on all levels. So this is something we can bring to the table. This is something that is not insignificant. And if we're going to move forwards, that has to happen. That connection has to happen. And then we become a source, or people like us become a source for the whole of humanity. So I notice myself pulling away from that, because the church have always held that position. For me, they've abused their power, and they may be holding some of the light, but it seems partial. Whereas as healers and meditators, we can hold that position, and hopefully within ourselves we can do it without wanting control over people, but as a service, that we can somehow help to bring the light. We can somehow help to bring balance. We can somehow help to bring wisdom. And that is the job of someone in service. That is not the job of someone who's going to lord it over other people, or be in charge, or be senior. Very important job, but in another way, very lowly job, because you can't be like a guru or a special person. We've seen what gurus do, a lot of them. We've seen what the church does, a lot of them. So we can bring something. We are not empty-handed in this situation, whatever your opinions are, whatever side you come down on, we can all connect to the same God or the same higher self or the divine realms or the energies that we're moving through. We can all dismantle ourselves, our opinions, our judgments. We can all unravel our own minds. We can all move towards enlightenment, whatever that may be and whatever form that may come in. So that seems to be what we're working with tonight. I didn't know that was there to be said. I thought this was going to be a very short talk, and I'm going to avoid saying the things that I want to say. But luckily I've said that. Okay, so in holographic breathing, the lips, you don't have to do this now. Just listen to instructions. You can have the lips closed and the tongue on the roof of the mouth now, but best not to try the moving of the jaw until we get into the meditation, because that can be counterintuitive and it's easier if you're guided through that bit. So in holographic breathing, the lips are closed and relaxed. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth and relaxed, and it's the upper surface of the tongue, and as much as feels comfortable. It's not forcing it all on the roof mouth, but you do need a certain amount, but it does need to be comfortable. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. So the tongue is relaxed on the roof of the mouth, the lips are closed, and that stays like that on the in-breath and on the out-breath, so the breath is through the nose all of the time. Excuse me. Then along with that, on the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing. And it's a small motion, 3 or 4 millimeters, 1/4 of an inch. It's a small motion of the jaw. Even though the jaw is moving, the lips stay relaxed and closed, the tongue stays relaxed and on the roof mouth. We can do this. This happens from a natural cellular memory, I think, from suckling. That even though the jaw is moving, the lips are relaxed and closed, the tongue is suctioned to the roof of the mouth. I'm going to demonstrate. See, after speaking what I wanted to speak, I've lost my voice, or losing my voice. We might get halfway through this and it will suddenly go silent. I haven't died, I've just lost my voice completely. I'm going to demonstrate it for a few breaths so that you can see that it's very, you may not even see the movement of the jaw, but you will see that it's a very subtle motion of the jaw, that it's not a cathartic, strong breathing system. It's deeply relaxing, soft and easy. So I'll just do it for a few breaths. And for me, the effect is instant. For me, I instantly drop into a state of meditation. I feel the spiritual connection. I feel all the connections through my body, through my brain. I feel a complete change of state as soon as I start holographic breathing. For me, it is now, well, it has always been, ever since it first came through, just became my normal way of breathing. So for me, this is also a way through into the new age. Holographic breathing is new. From what I can see, it hasn't been done before. And in that respect, if you're breathing in a new way, you can bring a new reality for yourself. And it's not a technique, it's a different mode of breathing. It brings about completely different state of being. If you're new, it's important to be sitting for the first part of this meditation, where I'm teaching the holographic breathing, because it becomes very relaxing very quickly. My voice becomes very relaxing and kind of mesmeronic, if that's a real word, and people fall asleep. And if you don't actually learn how to do it, you've wasted your time. If you get halfway through the instructions and pass out and don't actually get it, then if you don't learn the holographic breathing, not a waste of time, but the effect will be completely different. So it's not like you can get holographic breathing 80% right and it works 80%. You get holographic breathing 100% right, it works. If you get it 99% right, it doesn't work. Maybe relaxing, not holographic breathing. So if you're new, be seated for the first bit. At a certain stage, I'll say it's okay to lie down. We will be doing the movement of the hands and feet. I'm not going to describe it now. I will describe it now, but I'll describe it in meditation as well. We've got here, we've got a foot. Here's a foot at hand. So movement of the foot, breathing in, breathing out. Same as the diaphragm. Breathing in, breathing out. Same with the hands. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. It really gets the diaphragms, and we'll start just flapping the foot, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Then we'll do it from the back and the front, and then the foot stays flat, just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So we'll be doing that. At that point, it's fine to lie down, because by that point, all the holographic breathing should have become automatic. No particular way of breathing. You don't have to do deep breathing, slow breathing, fast breathing. Just breathing in a gentle, easy way. I don't think there's anything else to say. I'm kind of hurrying because I want to start the meditation, because I know I've gone way over on the talking. I feel quite emotional. It's this. I don't know what it's done for you, but I feel quite emotional after saying what I've said. I didn't know all of that was there in me under so much pressure. No wonder I had a headache running up to the webinar. It wasn't from the people, it was from the pressure inside myself. Okay. I think that's it. We are going to start. Everyone closing your eyes. If you know holographic breathing, dropping into the holographic breathing. If you don't know holographic breathing, just breathing naturally in your own way. And we're going to bring in some resources. Sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth. In times like this, it's good to connect to the earth rather than the palaver around. Sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allowing the earth to say hello back. And notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self, and allowing the higher self to say hello back, allowing yourself to receive from the higher self, and notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. Also sending a smile to the higher self and to the beneficial energies. The beneficial energies are any energies you like to work with, spiritual teachers, spiritual energies, and allowing those energies to say hello back. As long as they are beneficial, that's all that matters. And asking the earth, the higher self, and the beneficial energies to be with you through the whole meditation as a healing resource and a channel. Okay, so we're going to start learning the holographic breathing. So first of all, bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth. So upper surface of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. And the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. As much as feels comfortable. It may be half an inch, it may be a full inch, maybe the whole tongue on the roof of the mouth. And just allowing that to be there. The lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, the breath is through the nose. Okay. And now with the lips closed, with the tongue on the roof of the mouth, gently just moving the jaw up and down, just small motions of the jaw. Little up-down motions of the jaw. Just to notice you can move the jaw and have the lips closed. Just so you can have that experience. Notice you can move your jaw, you can have the lips closed, and you can have the tongue on the roof mouth, just small up-down motions. And now slowing down that motion. Make it much slower motion of the jaw. And then when you feel ready, as the jaw is opening, allowing the breath to come in through the nose. As the jaw is closing, letting the breath come out through the nose. Jaw gently opens, the breath comes in through the nose, the jaw gently closes, the breath comes out through the nose. It's like a little bellows as the jaw opens, draws the breath in through the nose. As the jaw closes, the breath leaves through the nose. Relax the neck, relax the back of the head. The jaw opens, the breath comes in through the nose, the jaw closes, the breath leaves through the nose. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. So as the jaw is opening, the teeth are separating. As the jaw is coming back together, the teeth just gently float together. There's no pressure. When the teeth come together, there's no pressure. They're just gently touching or just slightly apart. The jaw opens, the breath comes in, the jaw closes, the breath leaves. Okay, we're going to change the gestalt, moving the emphasis from the jaw to the nose, and from the movement of the jaw to the movement of the breath. As you breathe in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. As you breathe out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how everything gets much lighter and softer, more meditative. The breath comes in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. As the breath leaves through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. And being aware of this in the chest, as the chest is opening, the jaw is opening. The jaw follows. As we breathe into the chest is opening, the jaw follows. As you breathe out, the jaw follows. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Breathing in, the abdomen opens, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the abdomen closes, the jaw relaxes closed. Feel the whole torso breathing, and the jaw moves with it. Notice how in a very subtle way the whole face has started to breathe, the cranium has started to breathe, the neck is breathing, the throat is breathing, everything is breathing. You started breathing in a new way. Notice you can come right down into your pelvis. As the pelvis is opening, the jaw is gently opening with it. The pelvis is closing, the jaw is closing with it. You can feel it in your arms, legs, hands and feet. It's as if every cell is opening on the in-breath and every cell is closing on the out-breath. Notice how you've moved into a whole new way of breathing. Allowing the energies to move through the brain, through the neck, through the spine. Notice how you start feeling all sorts of subtle energies moving through the whole body, moving through your brain, moving through your face. And how nourishing it feels. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue is relaxed on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Okay, we're going to include the hands and feet. You can lie down at this point if you want to lie down. You need to be able to stretch out your arms and legs, so at least the legs are straight. On the in-breath, pulling the toes up towards you. Give people a little bit of time to rearrange themselves. You breathe in, the toes are pulling up towards you. As you breathe out, the toes are relaxing back down. This makes the whole breathing much more grounded, much more physical. Breathing in, the feet are flapping up. Breathing out, the feet are flapping down. Notice how this works through the front of your body. Breathing in, they're flapping up. Breathing out, they're flapping down. Then also be aware of it from the heel. So it's not just the front of the foot is pulling up, the heel is pulling up. So now, rather than flapping, it's more like the foot stays flat, it flattens on the in-breath. And then the foot relaxes and cups on the out-breath. You feel this going directly into your diaphragm through the body. Breathing in, the feet flat, and you'll feel the legs tensing front and back. Your breath will probably slow down and become much deeper. Breathing out, the foot is relaxing and slightly cupping. As you breathe with the feet in this way, it's important to let the energy go through your brain, to relax your brain, to relax your thoughts. The energy will start working through your brain. And the whole body, bit by bit. And then with the hands, same thing, the hands are flattening with the feet, breathing in. The hands relaxing and cupping as you breathe out. You may feel this through your whole skeleton, through all of your muscles. Much more physical, grounded way of breathing, but you also have to allow it to go through the brain and the cells of the brain and the bone structure of the cells of the brain. There's a certain let go through the brain. So just being with that much more physical, deeper, whole breath. Like bringing all of the parts of your body together into unison. All the different parts of your body breathing together. And there's this physical motion of the jaw, the hands and feet that all connect with each other to make this whole breath. Letting your brain go, letting it go through your brain. You can let that get more relaxed. We're going to start becoming more, that brings you in contact with the muscles and bones. We're also going to become more in contact with the organs and the brain. It's good to become aware of the tongue, the breathing of the tongue. This will connect you more to your organs and the brain. Also become aware of your brain. It's also good to become aware of the other end of your digestion. The tongue is at one end, you can feel that easy. The other area you can normally feel okay is the rectum. becoming aware of the rectum. You may feel a lot of releasing, has a lot to do with the Kundalini. To become aware of the rectum. You may feel rushing energy rushing up through your body and through your brain. We are all joined together. We're all separate, but we're all joined together. We have the same bodies. We have the same muscles, bones, organs. They all have similar qualities and feelings, and we all have a connection to the earth. We all have a connection to the higher self. It's good to come back to this feeling of yourself, your natural connection to the earth, your natural connection to the higher self and the subtle realms. Okay, let your neck relax. People may want to relax their chin down a bit. It's getting caught in people's necks a little bit. Letting your chin drop down, letting the neck be relaxed and straight. So the energy gets properly through into the brain. You may feel some adjustments in your cervical vertebrae and the vertebrae in the neck. And relax the shoulders. And there's the sexual potency. As the neck straightens, there seems to be a lot of release from the genitalia, especially the ovaries and testes. Notice if you can feel your ovaries and testes releasing, just rising up through the body. And even if you've had an operation there, there's still the energies there. Letting that release. The ovaries and testes releasing. And that energy releasing up through the whole body. These have a lot to do with wisdom and creation and the divine and earthly message. So it's a bit like there's a message from that area releasing up into the heavens, from our organic body into the heavens. Let your body make a communication to the higher self from the ovaries and testes. Moving up through the brain, and out through the top of your head. This is to do with family, maybe the global family, and feeling of wanting to hold or help or surround. But you can allow it in yourself, that despair or whatever you can feel that releasing from the ovaries and testes. This is us in the family, our family around us, but also the global family. And these can be stressed out from the situation at hand. You can just pull back into yourself and let these release. And also to connect with the divine realms. And there's this caring family type quality, inclusive type feeling from the higher self, coming back down, that you are part of the family with the higher self and divine realms. A lot around family happening. It's our body and all the organs of our family within us, within our physique. There's a family of lovers and family around us, and there's the global family, not just of people but of nature. And somehow this hurts when there's a lot of strife going on. You can let that heal in yourself. And there's a message. It's not really words, there's a knowing, a knowledge, an energetic connection through that circuit. The ovaries, it's also the uterus, the testes and prostate, allowing them to connect this heavens and this very family type quality. It may not be your immediate family, it may be your intrinsic family around you, inside of you, your intrinsic family of people you may not have ever met as healers, as people on the same wavelength, as your tribe. And then there's the global family. Meet your tribe. Know that you do have like-minded brothers and sisters, like-feeling brothers and sisters, people journeying on the same path all around the world. And we are a family. It's time to unite. The time to unite has come. Allow yourself to feel your family of support and like-minded comrades around the earth. And even if we never speak, we can have an energetic effect together. But we have to know that our family is there and that we are part of them. We can heal together. We're not alone. There's people waking up, people on this journey all around the globe. There's spiritual beings, energies, divine gods, divinity, the earth, goddess, and energies. All here to help, all urging us to wake up and we now have a family. There's enough of us to start feeling us as a family and a force to be reckoned with, a way forwards. We can be in unity. We are kind of rare, but there are a lot of us. We may be dispersed around the world, but in another way, we're all on similar wavelength. So we have our individuality as ourselves and our auras, and we are also have a family. We also have this connection, not just round the earth, but through the whole universe of awakening souls. And we are a force to be reckoned with. We can bring the divine energies to earth. We have a job to do. It's not just for ourselves, it's for the earth, it's for the divine energies, it's for all of the beings on earth, not just the human beings, but all of the trees, all of the animals. And there's enough of us to now make this connection. Relaxing your neck, letting your energies go through your neck. The words that keep on coming are, you are not alone. You are not just one person in the wilderness. There are lots of us. We may not be physically in touch, but we're there and we're a family. And we're moving together as a family. We have a purpose, we have a job. Individually, we make our little moves. As a family, we have a tremendous potency. And that affects everything. That affects everything around. Maybe we don't go out and protest or do things like that, but spiritually we can heal ourselves within. We can move as a unit. We can bring the divine energies to earth. We can bring the new era to earth. Allowing yourself to be a channel, gently doing the holographic breathing. Let your brain melt. And allowing yourself to be a channel. Still maybe very gently moving your hands and feet. That's okay, that's good, that will give you a grounding. Relax your throat, relax your neck. You need to let the throat and neck go so the energy connects through the brain and face. No, that's making a big difference as you relax your neck and throat. That grounds the head, but also the energies from the body can release through the head, so the divisions in us heal. The divisions between the head and body heal. The neck and throat are a gate. Let the neck and throat relax and let the energies of the body release through the face, through the brain. So we become united in ourselves. We become a family within ourselves, all of the different organs communicating, the brain communicating, the bones communicating, all of the different levels of us, all of the different parts of us talking, communicating, our family as a body, our family as an energy, talking, communicating, mending. Our body may be copying the family we've had from birth, or from what we see around us, or from our experiences, but letting your body have a new communication. It is talking to itself. A communication is talking. Our family as a body is talking. Allow the brain also and the face. And as you let the energies rise into the subtle realms, the higher self, everything starts to melt. As a family of your body, you connect to the higher self, and when that connection is made, the mind melts. You move onto a new level of consciousness, and this heals through your body. Every organ can talk to the higher self, every cell can talk to the higher self, allowing, it's like an orgasm. Every part of you starts releasing its energies that rise up through the top of the head into the divine realms, allowing your body to make that communication with the divine realms, allowing your body as a family to commune with the higher self, and the higher self to commune with you. So it's no longer just you separate as a body. You become you and the higher self as a family, as one, as part of each other. No divisions, no divide, no more. That time of division is now over. Allow yourself to be in family with the higher self, no longer a separate you. You are family. You are receiving the divine healing, and all the different parts of your body are communicating with each other. And in that communication, everything is melting. All of our resistances, all of our opinions, all of our stances, all of our fears, all of our everything melts. From being a mass of family, we drop into a nothing as they all talk. As you communicate with the higher self, from being a mass, everything turns into nothing. It's an emptiness. It can be a dark void, it can be a bright light. We let go of our ego, we let go of our identity, gently doing the holographic breathing. This is the communication. The holographic breathing is the communication. Gently breathing, letting yourself be one with the higher self and the subtle realms, and allowing that to release down through your arms and legs. Breathing gently, receiving the blessings from the divine and being the divine. You are part of the divine. Let this melt your throat, head and whole body, especially through into the hands and feet. Okay, we're going to come back in about a minute, letting everything relax. Let the thighs relax, the arms and legs relax, and breathe. Let everything go. Gently letting everything calm down. And sending a thank you to the earth, a thank you to the higher self and beneficial energies. And a thank you to yourself. And letting the energies go to the earth for love and healing. To the higher self and beneficial energies for love and healing. And letting yourself be loved and healed. Letting the energies go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. And you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. Let's see. The recordings of this will be out either tomorrow or on Tuesday. Be grateful if you shared that around with friends or on different platforms or whatever. It seemed like a fairly important message to get out there, or maybe helpful to people, or bring like-minded people together. Good to create a family at this time, between all, different disciplines and healing arts. And thank you all for coming. Next, we'll kind of thank each other in a minute, and before we finish, so we will still do that, so hang around. Next week we have the Fire Energy webinar series. We worked a lot with the ovaries and testes, uterus and prostate today, and that feeling of wisdom, unification and family and creation. That is part of the fire circuit, along with the heart, the hara, the small intestines. It's also the thymus, the thyroid, and the hypothalamus. It's a 5-webinar series, but you can still join and get the recordings of the previous ones and the links for the next ones to come. So that's next Sunday. The Sunday after that, we're doing the therapist training. If you decide to join that, it's really good to join sooner rather than later and get the recordings and practice with people a little bit before you join the group, so at least you understand what we're doing. I'm making it available for people still, but it's good to get the recordings, and the emails of everybody is there, so you can practice with people a little bit before joining. To be honest, I put it off for a long time, that training, but it is mind-blowing, really. It really is a channel. People really seem to be just channeling this information that is holographic breathing and learning how to be with that. And it just seems to be, whether people teach it or not, their whole level of holographic breathing is just going up by a whole level. And it's also bringing everybody together. In these webinars, I don't do sharing because it just doesn't seem to be time, and it just seems to take off in so many different directions. But the therapist trainings are mainly that. They're mainly people sharing their experiences and asking questions, and my input to that, and people working with each other, moving along spiritually, learning healing principles and different healing principles and ways of holding holographic breathing and teaching holographic breathing. So that is, very inexpensive for a training. Incredibly inexpensive, and a way that you can up the level of holographic breathing and teach it, and actually, make a bit of a living from it, and move holographic breathing forwards as a modality. So that is the Sunday after that. Anyway, as ever, it's been a complete and utter privilege. Certainly I got a lot off my chest tonight. I was holding back. I didn't want to do it because I thought I'd put people off, but I couldn't stop it in the end. It just all came out. And please don't be put off by that. If you have a different opinion, it's fine. It's fine. You just got my opinion. And if you have the same opinion, it's also fine. We just have to speak our truth and still be a family, still. And it feels like we started creating that we can be, we can have our energy field, but we can still be connected with a supportive, see, that sounds important, a supportive group of healing people. You know, everything's global now, everything's on Zoom, but from just, it's very apparent from these webinars, we're all still connected on that level, so you can be very much part of a global family. All right, that is it. I can feel my energy slowly fading away. So again, thank you all. Deeply, deeply thank you.